Hello. Today, the lesson I want to discuss is about readiness. It's about being ready, and also in connection with being ready around following through and taking action. Because it's one thing to be ready or in a state of readiness, it's another thing to act on a situation or whatever develops that we want to attract for ourselves. And I'm going to use a few examples today to help you appreciate that. Again, this is Anil, the Action Taker. Remember to subscribe and follow with my YouTube channel for free mentorship, because I deliver a lot of content around important subjects to help everyone anywhere to have a great quality of life and have success in business based on my experiences so far being alive on planet Earth. I'm all about giving back. I'm all about sharing. And at the same time, I apply these lessons in my own life because I'm not exempted from life. And I put myself in the same boat with everyone, except, I'm that guy with the paddle that's paddling hard because I want to create more for myself. So today we're going to talk about readiness. And the reason why I bring this up is from having conversations with people and clients and those that want to partner with me with what I'm up to with my online shopping business, or they want to get mentorship, or they want to get some tips and advice. What keeps coming up in the conversation is people are always wondering, well, am I ready now? Am I equipped now? Am I able now to take on what I say I want? And that's interesting. And I'm going to use the example of what's going on right now in the Windward Southern Islands, where I am, with Hurricane Beryl that's supposed to hit later on today. And I think it's getting up to category 3 or 4 as a hurricane. Well, what's interesting is on the islands, people don't wait for the hurricane to show up to get ready. Let me repeat that. People that live on the islands in the Caribbean, or who are in the path of a hurricane where they're located, they do not wait for the hurricane to show up to start getting ready. They get ready sometimes 2-3 days in advance in preparation. And why do I bring that up? What does that have to do with the state of readiness? Well, we don't know what things are going to look like. Like, we may lose power, internet. It's projected that the Hurricane Beryl is going to be fatal. Some people will lose their lives. Some people will lose their homes, their properties, their valuables. And that is a reality with Mother Nature, because when Mother Nature is ready, Mother Nature doesn't care if you're ready. Mother Nature doesn't care if I'm ready. It just delivers. And so when we look at being in a state of readiness, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a relationship, like a personal relationship, and once you got into it, you realize you were not ready to take that on? Because that comes with responsibility. That comes with putting someone else's needs and what they want sometimes ahead of yours. And what we notice is a lot of people, they get into shape for a relationship, like even physically. They go to the gym, they may quit smoking, they may start taking better care of themselves, they may do some self-development. But the minute they're comfortable and in that relationship, it all goes to shit. It all falls apart. Same in business. Have you ever signed up in a business or joined a business or a platform and you were so excited and gung-ho and you were reading books and watching videos, and then once you got into the business and realized it came with some challenges, and you were personally challenged because you had to grow and mature and develop as a person in order to make the business grow, you came up with excuses and you quit. So when you look back on your life, how many things have you started and quit? Or use excuses and stories? Or I dated the wrong person, or I was in the wrong business, or I partnered with the wrong person, or I thought this person was going to be this way and they turned out to be that way. Well, when it comes to readiness and following through on our word, it's very important to understand one very important fundamental. And are you ready? It has to do in connection with people down here in the Caribbean and getting ready for Hurricane Beryl. Are you ready to hear what I have to say? When you really want something to work, let's just say you meet the person of your dreams, or you join the business of your dreams, or you're working with the person of your dreams who is mentoring you. When it comes to that, it takes us not only just being in a state of readiness, it takes us keeping our word. It takes us keeping our commitment. It takes us following through. Because being in a state of readiness means that we follow through on that readiness. Imagine if here down in the Caribbean we heard about Hurricane Beryl and we're like, nah, it'll miss me. I'm cool, I'm safe. I don't even have to worry about anything. Even if it hits, I'm good. Well, how foolish would that be? So even though we know it's coming, it's up to us now to use our brain and our faculties and our thinking capabilities to not only be ready, but to also take action and follow through on our words. You know, I've been in situations where I dated people and they were not ready to date me. And vice versa, I was not ready to date them. Maybe I dated, someone way out of my league, right? They were too good for me at the time, as the saying goes. Or maybe I joined a business or partnered with someone and I was not ready to take on mentorship. I was not ready to have success in business. That's happened before. Have you been there before where you said, yeah, let's go, here's my credit card, take my money, sign me up, I want the biggest package, I'll get on the calls, I'll get on the trainings, I'll do whatever you have to say, and then a weekend people can't find you. You're not returning messages. You're ghosting everybody. You're hiding out. Well, the lesson today is not just being in a state of readiness and going into relationship after relationship and joining business after business and giving your word to this and giving your word to that and promising this and promising that and say you're going to do this and say you're going to do that. It's not about that. It's about honoring your word and following through on your commitment. Because let me ask you a question. Would you date someone or be in business with someone who constantly breaks their word? No, because their behavior is predictable. You know they're about to sizzle. You know they have a compulsive personality. Maybe they don't understand what commitment means. Maybe they're into themselves. Do you want to be in business with someone like that? Do you want to be in a relationship with someone like that? So just because you or we are in a state of readiness and we want to fulfill on that readiness and our word and commitment, we have to make sure we're partnered up with the right people. We have to make sure that we're following through on our word, working with the right people. That's very, very important, because just because you're in a state of readiness doesn't mean jack. One of my mentors taught me this years ago. What he said to me? We're driving by a cemetery, like a really big cemetery. And he pulled over and he goes, Anil, do you know what all those people have in common in that cemetery? And I said, they're all dead. He says, yes, but you know what they also have in common? I go, no, what? He goes, they all had good intentions. They all went to their grave with good intentions. Yeah, I want to keep my word. I'm going to follow through on my commitment. Yeah, I'm going to be reliable. I'm going to be trustworthy. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be someone that you're glad you dated or you are glad you partnered with. However, they never fulfilled on those things because they would just talk. They look like they were in a state of readiness. Their energy looked like they were someone that would commit and you could trust and they were reliable and would honor their word. But in time exposes all of us. And in time exposed them that no, they're not those things. And so they went to their grave with good intentions. Do you want to be one of those people that go to your grave with good intentions and you were not great at following through on being ready? Imagine that we know Hurricane Beryl is coming and we're like, yeah, I will deal with it when it shows up. Or it's going to miss me. Or I'm not going to be affected. Or I'm not afraid of Hurricane Beryl. I'm not afraid of any hurricane. Imagine how foolish that thinking would be, that we can think that we're not going to be affected. Even if the hurricane doesn't hit where we live, what about our families? What about the people we care about? What about the community? What about other human beings? They're affected. So are you saying you're cold-hearted? You don't care about other people? You're not checking in to make sure they're okay? One of my good friends from Tulum, And I want to give Amanda a shout out today. She messaged me this morning going, Neil, are you okay? Are the family okay? Are you guys getting prepared for Hurricane Beryl? She reached out to me. And I have thousands and tens of thousands of people I know. And most of them know I'm down in the Caribbean. And she was the only one that reached out to me, Amanda, in Tulum with Bidcastle Homes. And her and I are partnered in business together. So thank you for Amanda. Thank you to you for giving a damn and caring. You follow through on your word and your commitment to our friendship. And many people know I'm in the Caribbean, and they have my cell, they have my email, they have my WhatsApp, they have my Instagram, they have both my Facebooks, they have my Twitter, they have my LinkedIn. There's lots of ways to reach me. Yet only one person checked in on me, and that's okay. Because sometimes when you're building a business or when you're looking to have a great relationship, you're just looking for that one person who is in a state of readiness and that will follow through on their word and their commitment and will not be full of stories and excuses. Every time I talk to certain people, they tell me, yeah, Neil, I'm getting ready to join you in your business. Yeah, Neil, I'm gonna watch your mentorship videos one day. Yeah, Neil, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, Neil, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, Neil, I have to do this first before I do what I gotta do. Yeah, Neil, I gotta take care of this first, and I gotta do this first, and I gotta handle this first. Well, when you have a hurricane bearing down at you, do you think everything else has to be put on hold? Yeah. Do you think the parties have to be put on hold? The weddings have to be put on hold? I bet you there are people this weekend who cancel their weddings. I bet you there are people this weekend who cancel their anniversary parties. I bet you this weekend there are people who cancel their beach trips, their boating activities, their parasailing activities. Why? Well, you got a hurricane bearing down on you. So let me ask you a question. How are you committed to your life? For those of you who are in a relationship right now and you're excited to be in it, or who started a business, are you bringing all your stories and excuses to the table, or you're treating being in this business as though a hurricane is bearing down on you, that your life depended on it, that your very existence depended on it, that your safety depended on it? You see, one of the challenges North Americans have, and it's starting to permeate the rest of the world, is too many people are freaking comfortable. Too many people are so callous and cold and desensitized, and they're so comfortable that they want to create what they want to create in leisure. They want to create abundance and great relationship and great health and great finances and having a successful business, living in their excuses and stories. Do you think when Beryl touched down in the Leeward Islands today or tomorrow, you think Beryl cares about your feelings? You think Beryl cares about what you got going on, that you were supposed to get married this weekend? Does Beryl care you were going boating and you were looking forward to parasailing and hanging out on the beach and maybe going on a cruise? You think Beryl cares? Right now, most of the cruise ships are parked and in a sheltered place so they don't get hit hard. So the point of all of this is one thing to be in a state of readiness, ladies and gentlemen. It's another thing to act on it. So don't bullshit yourself and lie to yourself, oh, you're ready for a great relationship, or you're ready to date, or you're ready to marry, or you're looking to start a business or get involved in a business and work with mentors and coaches, and you know in your heart of hearts, you're full of shit. You're full of excuses. And that's okay. I've been there in my life as well. So don't feel bad. It's human nature. However, look at your situation, look at your life, and look at where you're not taking responsibility and you're letting yourself off and you're making excuses and stories, because Hurricane Beryl is coming. Beryl is going to become a level 3, a level 4 stage hurricane. That's pretty intense. You're talking about over 240 kilometer, over 100, 120, 130 mile per hour winds. So people are going to be adversely affected. And it's also going to be fatal for some people. People are going to lose everything. That's the reality. However, Mother Nature is so kind, Mother Nature is so generous that we're given a few days head warning to get prepared for whatever. So the lesson today is about being in a state of readiness, yet taking action, following through on your word, Enough with the bullshit. Enough with the lies. Enough with the narcissism. Enough with the games. When are you going to start taking yourself seriously so that other people take you seriously? Because remember, we may fool some of the people some of the time. And we could fool most of the people some of the time. But eventually, like Aesop's fable with the boy cried wolf, eventually the villagers will stop coming because they know he's playing a game. However, that's when the wolf shows up. So when are we going to stop playing games with ourselves and being narcissistic and lying and telling stories that are not true? And really truly get in a state of readiness and start taking action on what we say we're going to do and fulfill on our word and a commitment to what we give it to. If you are giving your word to a relationship, follow through on your word and commitment, even sometimes if it doesn't go your way, because you give your word to it. Do the same thing in your business. Do the same thing in your opportunity. Do the same thing with your family. Do the same thing with your kids. Do the same thing with your health. Do the same thing with your spirituality. Do the same thing with your finances. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. So when one thing suffers, everything else suffers. So don't fool yourself thinking you can have a great relationship and a great marriage and then your finances suffer. That doesn't make sense. Or your finances are great and everything else is great except your relationships suffer. That doesn't make sense. When everything works harmoniously well, everything benefits one another. Everything spills into each other. So when you have great relationships, you have great finance, you have great health, you have great spirituality, because they all are working cohesively together. And it's all part of being in a state of readiness. So this is Anil, the action taker down here. I'm both excited and nervous about Hurricane Beryl. And if you message me or try to reach me and I'm not messaging you back, it's because I'm not ghosting you, because I'm not one of those people that do that. It's because we don't have power or internet. So be patient. I will get back to you because we don't know how long we're going to have power or internet. However, like I say, I'm both excited and nervous because the last time I was in a hurricane was in 1974 with Hurricane Alma that touched down here in the Caribbean. So it's been, what, 30 years? Actually 40 years since, actually no, 50 years. It's been 50 years since Hurricane Alma. So Beryl, Beryl's gonna do what Beryl's gonna do. Beryl's ready, and Beryl's gonna deliver on his word and his commitment to being a hurricane. So, think about that. I use that as an analogy today to help you understand and appreciate what's happening. So again, this is Anil, the action taker, looking forward to our next mentorship video. And I send you my best wherever you are. Remember, get in a state of readiness, follow through on your word and your commitment, be someone of substance and value, and you will have tremendous joy, happiness, fulfillment. Your relationships are going to work both personally and in business. And if you're not in that state, do not get into a relationship, either personally or in business, till you get your shit together, till you get your act together. So take care, and I send you my best. Cheers.